والصلاة والسلام على سيد الخلق وأعز المرسلين أبي القاسم محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله، صلى الله عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. أشهد أن الله يا مولاي قد طيب بك التراب وأعظم بك المصاب وأجزل بك الثواب وأوضح بك الكتاب، وجعلك وأمك وأخاك وجدك وأباك والمعصومين من بنيك عبرة لأولي الألباب يا ابن الميامين الأطياب التالين الكتاب. وجهت سلامي إليكم ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني للسلام عليكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. We are in the 10th of Muharram, in Ashura, that day, the day of infamy, the day of the victory for Al-Haq, the day for the courage, the day for the sacrifices, the day that was written in history as the greatest event that anyone can bear and the greatest event that anyone can see and witness in the history of mankind, among one of the greatest events. Why? Because what demonstrated on the sands of Karbala on the 10th of Muharram, on the 61 to Al-Hijrah, it was unsurpassable by anyone. No parallel attitude was given by any man in history. And a group of people that with a clear vision have seen the truth and stuck to their principle, to their godly principles. On the 10th of Muharram, there was a battle between the army of Yazid, which was numbered about 30,000, against the army of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and you cannot call it army, it's a small group. Some narration said 72 or 73 or 74. And in few hours, the battle probably took few hours. And in the military point of view, the army of Yazid had won the military battle, but they have lost it through the course of history. And the group of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, they have lost the military battle, but they won the war through the course of history. So, to focus on the bravery of such, to focus on the bravery of such event, I am speechless, because time after time, year after year, I have to imagine and I have to live the event, try to my best live the events that this man witnessed on the 10th of Muharram in the desert of Karbala, in the scorching heat, on his back seeing the tents of his family, the cries of the woman, the echo of the cries of the children, the thirsty children, the pain of the wounded, the scene of the martyred. 18 members of Banu Hashim, there were never like them on the face of the earth. The brothers of Al-Imam Al-Hussein alayhi salam, the nephews, the companion, his second in command, Abu Fadl al-Abbas, and everybody is gone and were martyred. We have seen also the shahada of his son, Ali al-Akbar, and he have seen and witnessed the shahada of his baby Abdullah al-Radi'a, the infant, and he have seen and witnessed the shahada of his nephew Al-Qasim, and he have seen and witnessed the shahada of every companion that was with him. And you look at this character, you look at this unexplainable surge of courage. Everybody is gone, no one left except him and a sick son of his, Al-Imam Zain al-Abidin, that was semi-conscious, unconscious. And the exceptional woman in history is Zainab, Ridwanullahi alayha, who have seen also what her brother Al-Imam Hussein have seen. Imagine that situation where the man has to sit with his son, or has to sit with his sister, and then offer her condolences and offer her support, and yet he's going to be the victim. He told her, "My sister, do not hit yourself over me. Do not do a latam on your face. Do not scratch your cheeks. Do not torn your clothes. Prophets have died. People better than me have achieved martyrdom." And he had to say goodbye to her. And he had to mount his horse. And he asked her to take care of Imam Zain al-Abidin, the sick one, who was unable to stand. And he had to walk towards his enemy, mounting his horse. And she has to say, "As-salam," the last salam. You can imagine the tragedy of the situation. Yet Al-Imam Hussein alayhi salam, his courage was deeply rooted. His iman was so deep. His faith was so strong. His resolve was so impeccable. Was not hesitant. And he approached the enemy. And there were testimonies from his enemies about that magical, majestic scene. We say magical, majestic because it's not a scene to be reckoned with or to be underestimated, where a group of over 25,000 facing one man. That man happened to be our beloved Imam, Al-Imam Al-Hussein alayhi salam. He came, raised his hand to the sky, and made his dua, where he pled his case with Allah and did his famous dua. And he expressed his soul to him, and he asked him for his support. And the dua that he uttered on that day reached us, and he moved forward. And some of these soldiers in the army of Yazid have seen him. One of them described the situation by saying, "By Allah, I have never witnessed such a bravery, and I have never witnessed such a situation where a man would face all these calamities, and he would lose all his companions, and he would lose all his family members, and he would see his kids being killed and slaughtered before his own eyes, and yet never faltered, walked to the battlefield like a king, walked with confidence in Allah, relying on Allah, walked like a lion facing its prey, walked in recited his famous poetry, started the battle, and foe after foe he would defeat. And we shouldn't be surprised. Why? Because he is the son of who? The son of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. I want to go back to this scene, but I want to move forward to the post of martyrdom. When the whole battle ended, and when Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam was martyred, and then when these enemies, these criminals have done the unthinkable, severed his head from his body, and they put the heads of the martyrs on the spears, and they took the family of Imam Hussein, the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, captive, and they brought them in the presence of Yazid la'natullahi alayhi. And I spoke to you yesterday about the bravery of Zainab and what she spoke and what she said. And she made a big difference, and she altered the mood in the castle of Yazid, where most of the people who were there detested him. And when the children and the kids and Zainab and Imam Zain al-Abidin, who was a sick one, sitting there, Yazid, in order to change the mood and in order to propagate his false media, he asked his speaker, yani there was a speaker, there was a official speaker for Yazid. He said to him, go on the pulpit and downplay the value of Ali ibn Abi Talib and speak against Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Sure enough, this man went to the pulpit and he started talking bad about Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, and he started falsely accusing al-Shaheed al-Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam that he's a rebel against al-Khalifa, that he wanted to break the unity of the Muslim, blah, blah, blah. You know, the speech of the castle paid employee in order to please his master. So Imam Zain al-Abidin immediately responded, and he said to the speaker, Ya hada, O you have bought the displeasure of the Creator by wrongly pleasing the created and the unjustly ruler. فَتَبَوَّأْ مَقْعَدَكَ مِنَ النَّارِ. Rest assured that your abode will be in hell. And then there was an argument, and Imam Zain al-Abidin barely stood up, and he said, Ya Yazid, allow me to go to that piece of wood. He didn't call it mimbar, he called it piece of wood. And I would say a few words that Allah would be pleased with it and would be considered good deed for the listeners. And of course Yazid refused. But since Zainab spoke and introduced herself, and the people in the presence of Yazid have known and noticed that this is the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, and they saw the condition of Imam Zain al-Abidin, injured, in chains. So they asked Yazid to let him speak, and he refused. And there was also a confusion, and there was large argument, and they insisted on Yazid that he should let him speak. And Yazid said to some of them, he said, look, this is the son of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, this is the grandson, this is the son of Al-Hussein, this is the grandson of Imam Ali alayhi salam and Rasulullah, They were given the knowledge like you were fed in your childhood. They were given the knowledge. They are very eloquent. If I give him the permission to speak, then he will disgrace me and disgrace my father and disgrace my grandfather Abu Sufyan. And one of them said, look at his condition, look at his state. What danger do you expect from this man? So after peer pressure, they allowed him to speak. He moved to the minbar and he said to the people, after he praised Allah, he said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, glorified him, and he said to the people, Ayyuhan nas, we were given 6 qualities, and we were preferred by 7 things. The qualities that we were given. أُعْطِينَا الْعِلْمُ وَالْحِلْمُ. We were given knowledge and forbearance. وَالسَّمَاحَةِ, forgiveness. وَالْفَصَاحَةِ, eloquence. وَالشَّجَاعَةِ, the courage. وَالْمَحَبَّةِ فِي قُلُوبِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, and the love in the hearts of the believers. And we were preferred by 7 things. From us is النبي المختار Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. ومنا الصديق الإمام علي عليه السلام. ومنا الطيار جعفر الطيار. ومنا أسد الله وأسد رسوله. منا الصديق حمزة. ومنا الطيار جعفر. ومنا أسد الله ورسوله, the lion of Allah and the lion of his messenger, Ali ibn Abi Talib. ومنا صديقة هذه الأمة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. And in another hadith, minna are the 2 branches of knowledge, Imam al-Hasan wal-Hussein, and in another narration, وَمِنَّا مَهْدِيُّ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ, from us is the Mahdi. مَنْ عَرَفَنِي وَمَنْ عَرَفَنِي فَقَدْ عَرَفَنِي. Whoever recognized me, then he knew me. And whoever does not know me, I shall introduce myself to him. أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ, I will introduce myself, and I will introduce my family and my descendant. I will introduce my family and my grandparents. أيها الناس, I am the son of Mecca wa Mina. أنا ابن مكة ومنى. I am the son of Mecca ومنى. This is a very eloquent statement. You know what Mecca and Mina represent. أنا ابن زمزم والصفا. I am the son of Zamzam and As-Safa. I am the son of the best who carried the black stone with his mantle. I am the son of the best who have put his clothes on and who took it off. I am the son of the best who have bare his sandals and walked barefooted. I am the son of the best who did الطواف and السعي. أنا ابن خير من طاف وسعى. الطواف around Al-Kaaba and السعي between As-Safa and Al-Marwa. أنا ابن خير من حج ولبى. I am the son of the best who have performed the pilgrim and did التلبية. لبيك اللهم لبيك. أنا ابن من حمل على البراق في الهوى. I am the son of the best man who were carried by the angels on Al-Buraq to heavens. أنا ابن من أسري به من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى. I am the son of the man who were carried from the holy mosque in Mecca to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, Palestine. أنا ابن من بلغ به جبرائيل إلى سدرة المنتهى. I am the son of the person whom Jibreel took him to the holiest and the closest, holiest spot in heaven. It's called Sidratul Muntaha. أنا ابن من دنا فتدلى. I am the son of the person who came very close, extremely close. فكان قاب قوسين أو أدنى, just like the end of the 2 arrows when they get closer to each other. أنا ابن من صلى بملائكة السماء. I am the son of the person who have led the angels in congregation prayer in heaven. أنا ابن من أوحى إليه الجليل ما أوحى. I am the son of the person whom Allah revealed to him what he revealed. I am ibn Muhammad al-Mustafa. I am ibn Ali al-Murtada. I am who subdued the creation until they said La ilaha illallah. I am the son of the man who defended Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi with two swords, sayfain, وطعن برمحين, used two spears. وهاجر الهجرتين, migrated twice, the first migration and the second. وبايع البيعتين, gave the allegiance, two of them. And he fought ببدر وحنين. He did not commit al-kufr to Allah in the value of the blink of the eye. I am the best, I am the son of the best of the believer, the inheritor of the prophets, and the upholding of the rejectors, and the leaders of the Muslims, and the light of the mujahideen, and the best of the worshipper, and the crown of those who cried for the sake of Allah, وَتَاجُ الْبَكَّائِينَ وَأَصْبَرَ الصَّابِرِينَ, the patient, the most patient of the patients, وَأَفْضَلِ الْقَائِمِينَ, and the best who stand up in prayer, from Ali Yasin, Rasul Rabbil Alameen, and Abnul Mu'ayyad bi Jibra'il. I am the son of the person whom supported by Jibra'il, defended by Mikael. I am the son who defends on the sanctity of the Muslim. And he fought al-Mariqeen in al-Jamal, battle of al-Jamal, wal-Nakithin, the battle of Siffin, wal-Qasitin, the battle of al-Khawarij. I am the al-Mujahid a'da'ahum nasibin. I am who have fought those enemies who hated Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. وأفخر من مشى من قريش أجمعين, the most proud among Quraysh, and the first person to respond to the call of Allah and His messengers among the believers, and the first among the foremost, and the splitter of the transgressors, and the annihilator of the idol worshippers, and an arrow of the arrows of Allah on the hypocrites, and the tongue of the wisdom for the worshippers, and the supporter of the religion of Allah, and the Mawla of Wali Amrillah, and he is Khalifatullah, the garden of the wisdom of Allah, the storage of his knowledge. Samhun, Sakhiyun, Bahiyun, Behlulun, Zakiyun, Abtahiyun, Radiyun, Miqdam, courageous, Hammam, seeing with vision and clarity, Sabr, patient, Sawam, in a state of fasting all the time, Muhaddabun, Qawwam, with a great code of ethics. And then he went and went and went by saying, Qati'ul Aslab, the spreaders of the parties. He is the most of them in resolve, the strongest of them in attitude, and his will is the highest, and his toughness is the best. He is like a lion, grind them in the battles. Is as دلفت الأسنة, when the swords are being taken out. وقربت الأعنة طحن الرحى ويذروهم فيها ذرو الرياح. And on his enemies he blow them he blows them in the wind like you blow the grains in the wind. Laythul Hijaz, the lion of Hijaz, the lamb of Iraq. Makki belongs to Mecca. Madani belongs to Medina. Khayfi, easygoing. Aqabi, Badri, fought in Badr. Uhudi, participated in Uhud. Shajariyum Muhajiri, gave the allegiance in Ash-Shajara, migrated twice. Among the Arabs, it is top master. إرث المشعرين وأبو السبطين, the father of Al-Imam Al-Hasan wal-Hussein, and he did not commit shirk in Allah, the value of the blink of the eye. I am the son of Fatima, ibn Sayyidat al-Nisa. And he kept saying, I am, I am, I am, I am, until the crowd in the presence of the Yazid start crying. And they were detesting Yazid for doing what he was doing. And the situation was going out of hand. And all these noble people in the presence of Yazid start cursing Yazid. And then Yazid goes to Al-Mu'adhin, the person who declares as-salat, and he says to him, listen, just go and declare the adhan, because if you declare the adhan, we will stop his speech. Then Al-Mu'adhin stood up and he said, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And Zainul Abidin responded, there is nothing greater than Allah. And when he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Al-Imam Zainul Abidin said, I testify to that fact. My hair does, and my skin does, and my flesh does, and my blood does. And then when the Mu'adhin said, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, then he turned from the mimbar towards Yazid, and he said, Ya Yazid, this name in the adhan, Muhammad, is he your grandfather or is he my grandfather? If you claim that he is your grandfather, you have lied and you had committed kufr. And if you say he is my grandfather, then why did you kill us? And why did you kill his family? And why you took his family as captives? That was the speech of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam that turned the mood and changed and altered the state of the people in the presence of Yazid from pleasure to displeasure, and from acceptance to detest him. They detested him, and they start withdrawing with an anger, and they noticed the value and they noticed the value and the amount of disdain feeling they have never thought that that would be the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa, but the catastrophe happened and the tragedy showed itself, and then things were never the same at all after that. And Yazid started crying and weeping later on and claiming that he is regretting doing what he was doing, and he wanted to show that he is repenting in front of the crowd. And he came to Imam Zain al-Abidin and he said, tell me, is there anything I could do that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive me for what I have done, will forgive my crime? And Imam Zain al-Abidin, in the presence of Zainab, told him, yes, if you do Salatul Ghufayla for the rest of your life, may Allah forgive you, maybe Allah will forgive you. And then Zainab told him, Ya Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. She told him, Ya akhi, why would you tell him something like that? He said, do not worry, he's not going to pray it. He's not going to perform it. So the tragedy did not end here. The tragedy has its own also details. And we will continue these details inshallah tomorrow to speak about the outcome and the return of Imam Zain al-Abidin to Karbala, and the burial of the bodies of the martyrs, and the shahada of Sukayna, the daughter of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdullah, sallallahu alayka wa ala al-arwah allati hallat bifanaik. أشهد أن الله يا مولاي قد طيب بك التراب وأعظم بك المصاب وأجزل بك الثواب ووضح بك الكتاب وجعلك وأمك وأخاك وجدك وأباك والمعصومين من بنيك عبرة لأولي الألباب يا ابن الميامين الأطياب التالين الكتاب. وجهت سلامي إليكم ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني للسلام عليكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. والفاتحة لأمواتنا جميعا يسبقها الصلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير